So next up is the 2020, is this the 24 or 25 feasibility? 2024 feasibility study.
Good evening, Chair Mallow, board members, Mr. Barnes, Dr. Turner-Little. My name is Tim Rogers, and I am the manager of school planning. I'm here this evening with Mr. Dan Lubley, acting chief operating officer, to present the 2024 feasibility study. This report includes an analysis of future estimated capacity needs based on updated enrollment projections. The annual process of developing the capital budget includes many steps that allow future plans to be updated and refined based on the latest data and analysis. This report is a follow-up to the updated enrollment projection, which was presented in April of this year. The intent is to provide the superintendent, board, and community with an updated analysis of school capacity needs based on the new projection and updated thinking on strategies to respond to these needs. I want to emphasize this is not a new capital budget, CIP, or long-range master plan. Staff will be working with the superintendent over the summer on incorporating the information from this report, along with updates on building condition and other factors, into a proposed capital budget for presentation in the fall. The planning process informed by this feasibility study will conclude with the adoption of a budget in May of 2025 and adequate public facilities ordinance school capacity chart in June of 2025. Whoa. PowerPoint has an issue.
I didn't do it, I promise.
Well, I can continue speaking, and then if
That would be
the
great.
slides catch
Thank
up,
you.
we'll go from there. Our office reviews and updates our projections each year to incorporate the latest data and trends related to all of the factors that are considered. For this reason, projections vary from year to year. Examining the countywide K-12 enrollment for 2007 through 2019, we see the overall growth trend with an average increase of nearly 750 students per year. During the 2 years following the onset of the pandemic, enrollment decreased by nearly 1,500 students and has not rebounded. If there was a chart on the screen, you would see a line that indicates the current projection for 2024 to 2033. And for comparison, there are 5 projections for the same time period shown in the chart. As recently as 2021, we were thinking countywide enrollment would exceed 60,000 students by 2030. Now our expectation is that enrollment will not exceed 57,000 students in the near future. We will be closely monitoring this enrollment trajectory and all of the inputs to our projection through this time of ongoing volatility to best inform the planning process. To gauge future capacity utilization at our schools requires accurate representation of school capacities. Capacities are not necessarily fixed to the original when the building first opened. Change in space usage, programming, and building or program specifications can change capacity. The next one. Thank you.
It's actually my screen, so that's why.
For school year 24-25, as in previous years, the expansion of several special education programs and early childhood programs necessitated recalculation of capacity at some schools. These capacity calculations were updated according to board-approved methodology and are reflected in the post-measures charts contained in the report. It must be noted that planning to implement these program changes for school year 24-25 is ongoing, and adjustments may be made from this snapshot in time. Next slide, please. To provide options to address future capacity needs during times of enrollment growth, HCPSS has compiled a portfolio of properties that could be used for future facilities. Some of these sites were reserved during the original layout of Columbia and formally transferred to HCPSS recently, while others were acquired through purchase or trade. This inventory includes 6 properties suitable for a new elementary school, 1 suitable for a new middle school, and 1 site occupied by a former elementary school that is planned to be renovated into an early childhood center. Next slide, please. For school year 2024-25, we expect 42 schools to be utilized below or within the target utilization range of 90 to 100%, with 26 schools above target but below 110%, and only 7 schools above the target range. This is similar to the capacity utilization we saw this past school year, with 2 more schools moving to within target and 3 fewer schools below the target range. The lowest utilized school last year was Guilford Park High School due to the phased opening. The strategies presented on the following slides and detailed in the report are focused mainly on addressing the schools in the red and orange columns in these summary charts. Using a 10-year planning horizon, we identified each school that is expected to have a significant seat deficit or experience high capacity utilization. It is important to examine both factors since schools vary in size across each level. Then, based on the thresholds identified in Policy 6010, all schools were classified into utilization tiers. Tiers 1 through 4 include schools expected to exceed target utilization over the next 10 years. Tier 5 includes schools that remain within the target range, and utilization Tier 6 includes schools expected to be below the target range for most of the 10-year period. Even though there are fewer schools with capacity concerns, there are still schools that are overutilized and require planning for new capacity or boundary adjustments. This list ranks or orders capacity needs using the 5 and 10-year utilization as well as the seat need. At the elementary level, 5 schools are expected to exceed 110% for the next year. Utilization at Athelton and Fulton is expected to improve in future years, but utilization at Bowman Bridge and St. John's Lane is expected to increase, leading to several years above the 110% mark over the next 10. Bryant Woods, Centennial Lane, and Hammond are expected to be utilized above 110% next year and for most of the next 10. In addition to Bowman Bridge and Hammond, Hanover Hills, Forest Ridge, and Laurel Woods are expected to exceed the target range and could be relieved by redistricting associated with a new elementary school in the southeast. This new school should include significant pre-K capacity and is the highest priority for new capacity at the elementary level. Utilization at Bryant Woods is expected to continue to increase, leading to an approximately 100-seat deficit. Since adjacent schools are shown to have available capacity, redistricting should be pursued as the primary strategy. Utilization at Phelps Luck is expected to exceed 110%, but not reach the same level as Bryant Woods. Like Bryant Woods, there are schools in the area estimated to have available capacity over the next 10 years, and redistricting should be explored as the primary strategy. St. John's Lane and Centennial Lane are expected to exceed 110% for several years, and nearby Waverly and Northfield are expected to exceed the target range. The combined Year 10 seat need at these schools is 275, but there is an expectation that capacity will exist at Bushy Park and Manor Woods later in the 10-year timeline. A new elementary school coupled with the use of the future capacity at existing schools could alleviate crowding in this area of the county. Finally, while below the target utilization range for the next 5 years, enrollment at Worthington is expected to increase due to new development. Planning for an addition at this school for the later years of the long-range master plan is recommended. All of the schools discussed here have portables for interim capacity. At the middle school level, we're projecting 2 schools to be utilized above 110%, Dunlogan and Patuxent Valley, with 15 schools between 90 and 110% utilization. Over the next 10 years, Thomas Viaduct and Burley Manor will exceed 110% as well, while utilization at Dunlogan is expected to improve. This report does not recommend changes to the timing of the Oakland Mills or Dunlogan projects. Patuxent Valley, Thomas Viaduct, and Hammond share boundaries and cover most of the southeastern portion of the county. Together, an additional 280 seats will be needed to bring this group within target utilization range over the next 10 years. The added capacity at Oakland Mills Middle School can be used along with future available capacity at Lake Elkhorn and Mayfield Woods through redistricting to provide some relief to some of these schools. Also, an addition at Murray Hill Middle School is still recommended to bring this area into a sustainable utilization range. Similarly, several schools in the Ellicott City area are expected to be utilized above the target range. None of these reach the utilization or seat need levels of the southeastern schools, but combined they represent a seat need of around 170. Following the Dunlogan Middle School project, redistricting to use expected available capacity at Ellicott Mills and Wild Lake is recommended. At the high school level, boundary adjustments adopted in 2019 and 2022, along with the addition to Hammond High School and opening of Guilford Park, provided relief to the most crowded schools. No high schools are projected to exceed 110% for next year. The only high school expected to exceed 110% within the next 10 years is Guilford Park, potentially reaching 111% in the 10th year. This projection may shift in the coming years once the school is enrolled with a full complement of grades and develops its own enrollment trends. Besides Guilford Park, 6 schools will be utilized above the target range at some point in the next 10 years, with the greatest year 10 seat need being 80 at Marriott's Ridge and Oakland Mills. Both of these schools are estimated below 105% in year 10, and Oakland Mills will have 3 portables for school year 24-25. Looking forward, capacity adding capital projects will be difficult to justify at the high school level. Projections will continue to be monitored for future capacity needs at this level. In response to requirements of Blueprint, planning discussions are ongoing to accommodate future pre-K enrollment. To begin to meet the estimated need, the Faulkner Ridge Center is being renovated into a regional center with 13 classrooms. Work is ongoing to convert existing half-day classrooms into full-day programming across the system. The 2 new elementary schools recommended in this report should also include significant pre-K space to serve as regional centers. Additionally, a program of preschool or pre-K additions should be researched and considered to increase pre-K capacity where needed. Based on the needs and strategies just noted, the feasibility study presents proposed capacity priorities and potential adjustments to the timing of capacity projects. Shown here is the priority recommendation from the 2023, last June's feasibility study. These priorities informed the FY25 capital planning process. Here the capacity projects from the FY25 board-approved long-range master plan are shown with the capacity and expected year of occupancy. The board approved this in the FY25 capital budget last month. Following the enrollment projection presented to the board in April, some modifications to the timing of future projects is presented. 2 projects, the Faulkner Ridge Center and Oakland Mills Middle School, will be underway in FY25. The Dunlogan project is planned for funding in FY26. It is recommended these projects continue as planned. Following these, the next capacity project recommended is the 43rd Elementary School shown in the southeast. Then, following the priority capacity projects, include an addition at Murray Hill Middle School, an addition at Worthington, and a 44th Elementary School utilizing the Turf Valley site. Years shown for those recommended projects are suggested based on capacity need only. Please note this recommendation is not a new capital budget or long-range master plan. This is an outline of data-informed capacity needs and the recommended strategies to address them. This information will be used in development of the FY26 capital budget along with various facility-related, and other data sets. As we consider this updated enrollment projection and the strategies to address capacity concerns, there are a few themes that help frame the feasibility study recommendations. The pandemic disrupted many things, including many housing and student enrollment trends. The effects of this disruption continue as new trends are established. Countywide, enrollment is expected to remain mostly constant, but capacity will still be needed. There are still many unknowns regarding expectations and funding regarding the space requirements of Blueprint. We will continue tracking this topic and planning for the possibilities. This report includes capital planning priorities based on the updated projection to inform the FY26 capital budget. This is not the only data set compiled to inform the capital budget, and the FY26 process will begin very soon. This concludes that presentation. I'm happy to entertain any questions if we have any time left.
Yeah, and I appreciate, thank you, Mr. Rogers. I appreciate your emphasis on this is not the final product. This is just for enrollment and capacity needs only. I appreciate your emphasis
Yes,
on
sir.
that.
We have approximately 5 minutes until we are turned into pumpkins. So, Ms. McCoy, you are up first. I'll give you 2 minutes.
First of all, I don't envy you, but I thank you for the work put in. I guess my question, 2 questions, and I know this was done without consideration of the capital criterion work group. I mean, you said the dreaded word redistricting, which I'm a firm believer in the necessity to have to do that in order to, I mean, because it doesn't make sense that we've got schools that are underutilized and we've got schools that are overcrowded, and it's a matter of people going, I don't want to go to that school. When if things were fair, it wouldn't matter what school you went to, you'd be getting an excellent education. And so that's the goal. So I appreciate the work that you put in, and I just want the public to know that this was based on capacity, correct? This is not what's going to happen. And I know that the criterion, the capital criterion work group is still grappling with how we can make the whole process more fair. But like I said earlier today, whatever change we make, the changes that have to be made, they're going to be painful, and people are going to have to get used to being uncomfortable. But if we want to make this fair, folks are going to be uncomfortable. And I just say get ready for the discomfort, and don't think that your screaming and yelling is going to move the needle. We're going to do what's best for our students. So thank you.
I see no more hands. So I will simply say, thank you for hanging in there tonight. I know it's been a long evening. You were the last one on the docket. So thank you. Your report is concluded. Does